Let me share with you how a $93,000 Medicaid lien almost destroyed a wrongful death settlement here in New York. Would you like to learn what this is about? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. I was representing a family whose mother had died as a result of a misplaced feeding tube. The feeding tube was put into the wrong place, and as a result, the nutrition was now going into the abdomen instead of the correct location, and nobody recognized it and treated this. As a result, this woman died one day later from a condition known as massive sepsis. The family decided to go ahead and bring a lawsuit against the hospital for failing to timely diagnose and recognize that the feeding tube was in the wrong place. It turned out that this woman was a recipient of Medicaid. Now, Medicaid turned around and said, hey, you have to pay us back $93,000 since you, the family, are bringing a lawsuit seeking to be compensated for your mother's death. Now, by law, Medicaid must be repaid their money before the family can ever get a single dime as compensation. So, during the course of the negotiation process, it turns out that Medicaid was not willing to negotiate. They said, listen, depending upon how much you're able to get from the hospital, we will then talk. Well, it turns out we were able to get a significant amount of money, but Medicaid still was unwilling to try and reduce the lien. And here's what I said to them. I said, you are going to prevent us from going ahead and settling this case. Do you know why? I said, because there are 5 adult children here who have to consent to the settlement. 5 adult children whose mother died as a result of this hospital's carelessness. And if you do not significantly reduce the amount of money that you are claiming you are owed in this particular case, this case will not be settled, and you will not get a dime. The family would sooner just discontinue the case, end it whatsoever, because if they're going to walk away with absolutely nothing after this entire process because you're being greedy, then there's no point in going forward. And as a result of that ultimatum, I'm happy to say that Medicaid, together with the hospital, came to the conclusion that it was worthwhile for them to reduce significantly the amount of money that they were claiming they were owed in order to allow us to settle this case. Medicaid turned around and reduced their lien from $93,000 to $9,300, to 10%. 10%, which is astounding. But here's why they did it. Because if they hadn't, each one of the children would have received absolutely nothing. You don't bring a lawsuit solely for the purposes of paying back Medicaid. You do it for the purposes of obtaining compensation for the injured victim and for the family. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you because there are inherent dangers when you have a Medicaid or even a Medicare lien that must be paid back before the family is ever to get a single dime of compensation. And there's specific strategies that you have to use in order to try and minimize or reduce or negotiate with them. You know, I recognize you're watching this because you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. This is something I do every single day, and I welcome your call. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, G-E-R-R-Y, @oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.